We'll start with a bit of reflection on Tuesday. What's the feeling like now? Time has passed, having the lead until so late, and then a red card obviously changing the game.
Yeah, that's the biggest frustration for the group, is that I feel we were very comfortable within the game. I feel we started the game very well. Slokes makes a really good save though to keep it at 0-0, even though we started the game really well. He makes a double save, which keeps it at 0-0. And then a few minutes later we go score. And then I thought that the half was very even within that half. They had a lot of shots, but a lot of long distance shots that didn't really come over anything that kind of went over or we blocked it. So I thought we got it in at half time, and then we tactically changed it. We stopped their threat that they were getting down their right hand side, and we stopped that. And we were around the box for 20 minutes in the second half. They didn't get around our goal. I think they had one moment where they put a nothing cross into our box that we dealt with. And we had some really good moments around their box that didn't quite come to something. And I think if we could have made that go to 2-0, I think that, obviously we can go on and win the game. And look, it's frustrating because Robbo has been absolutely outstanding, but the sending off does kind of kill the game. But look, he's a young lad, he's learning his trade, and it was just one of those things.
Do you think that you'd have won the game with 11 men?
Yeah, I do. I don't think they'd done enough, and I think Slokes was in the form that he was in. I didn't feel that he would concede within that game, and I thought we were defending really well.
I guess the fact you were 10 minutes away, not just from a win, but from a really important confidence-boosting clean sheet as well. That must hurt that you were so close to that.
Yeah, look, I feel for the group. The work ethic that they put in, they give absolutely everything. They run themselves into the ground, and to come away on the wrong end of the result, like you say, and not get the clean sheet that the performance defensively, collectively as a group deserved. So look, that's a huge frustration, and I feel frustrated for the group. But look, we'll go again this Saturday.
I guess the fact that the other side of that is still conceded 2 in that game, conceded 11 in 4. It's certainly not for the want of trying, but those defensive issues and concessions of goals is still a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, we seem to be conceding similar goals. I think the goals from the other night, I think when you go down to 10 men, it's very hard to close the gap, especially against a footballing team, which Crawley are. And I thought that they moved the ball well. When we went down to 10 men, they really stretched us. And it was a third-man runner from within that midfield area that sometimes is really hard to track because you're overloaded. You're kind of doing 2 jobs constantly. So, yeah, the goals that we conceded the other night, I feel were just down to being down to 10 men. Previously within games, the goals that we've kind of conceded have been kind of the issue, that we've kind of conceded similar goals all season, and that's a big frustration.
So do you think a corner's turned then? Do you think that if the goals conceded on Tuesday were largely down to the fact that they wouldn't have happened if you still had 11 men, do you feel like those issues are we've maybe turned a corner from that?
Look, I always think that when the lads give everything and they're closing the ball down and stopping entries coming into your box, it gives you a real chance of stop making individual errors. But I think it's very hard to say that it will stop, because we're humans and we do make errors and we do make mistakes. So I still feel that it potentially can happen. But if we keep working hard at it, keeping teams away from our box and stopping it at source, I feel it gives us a really good chance of getting clean sheets.
Let's talk a bit more sort of generally about the form. You seem really positive, which is great. Not for 6 when you took over, and now quite a long way off the playoff, down in 17th and 10 points off. That sort of drop off in such a quick turnaround of time in sort of 5-6 games is extraordinary. Now, how has that happened?
I think we've been very close within games. I think with the big moments within a lot of games since we've been in charge have not gone our way, and then added with individual errors that have cost us within certain moments in games to concede goals and drop points. I think that's a huge frustration for us as a management team. I think collectively as a performance level, I think we've had a really bad half of football against Sutton, and I think if you look at the performance levels within the other games and take away the emotion and take away the goals that we've conceded within those games, I don't think the performance levels have been bad. They've been of a good level. We've just not got the lucky breaks within different moments within games, and I feel that you could look at the points return that we've potentially got at the minute is not good. But if you look at the way that the games could have gone within those games and the moments that didn't go our way, we could have a hell of a lot more points. And I feel that's the frustration for the group, and I feel that's why as a group we're believing in what we're doing, and we'll keep sticking by the group collectively as together, and we know that we'll turn it around, and we know that we'll put points on the board.
Do you think there's long enough left in this season now to turn it around and make this season end sort of positively? Being 10 points off and 10 teams between you and 7th, is a really big ask to turn that around to to get into the playoffs still.
Look, I think why it's mathematically possible, I think we'll always keep aiming for that. I think we've just got to focus on our next game now, and making sure that every game we go into, we try and get maximum points, and then we see where it takes us. And look, we believe that going into away at Accrington on Saturday, we believe that we've got a chance of winning the game of football.
Fans are probably a bit split at the minute. There's some which are on board, and there's some that are quite angry, I think is probably fair to say. What can you and the team do between now and the end of the season, regardless of what the outcome of that season is, to try and unify everybody and keep everybody on the same page and together?
Look, I think it's about winning games of football. I think when you win games of football, it breeds confidence, it breeds that belief. So we've got to win games of football, and we know that we're not silly in that sense. But the lads have been given everything. We've come up short in different scenarios, like I said, in big moments within games. But the lads are given everything on the pitch, and that's all we can ask from them at times. But we do know to get that positivity back, we need to know that we need to make sure we're winning games of football.
What's the feeling like at the minute on the training grounds and around? Because from how you've been in this interview, from how Sam Slocum was earlier on, it doesn't feel like the morale is that of a team that have lost 5 in a row.
No, I think when you reflect without emotion and you reflect back on the games, we're not far away from winning games of football or picking points up within this division. And if you look at the batch of teams that we played when we first come in, they're all the teams that are in the top end of this division. So we know that we're not a million miles away from that. So that does breed confidence in itself. It's down to us as a management team to making sure that the lads keep believing in what we're doing. And I feel that we've got that within the group, and the lads are on board, and we're all ready, and we're raring to go for Saturday to put in a positive performance, but hopefully we can come back with the points.
I hope so. Good luck, Stuart. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hi, Stuart.
Jordan, how are we doing?
Very good, very good. Does it say quite a lot on the character of the players that you've got, considering the form, but they're still kind of on side with the whole project, the whole idea of how you want to set out and play?
No, definitely. I said it before when we come in, within our first week of the job, that they're a real good group of lads. They've got a real togetherness inside, and they believe in what we're doing, and they give everything. They take on the information, they go on the pitch and try and execute. I feel that at times we've been very unfortunate within games, with the big moments within the games that have kind of gone against us, whether that's a refereeing decision, or whether that's us not taking chances, or whether that's making individual errors to cost us within big moments of games. So I feel there's that real belief within the game that we're not a million miles away, that knowing that we can win games of football consistently as a group.
And obviously we've seen the table, you're 10 points off the 7th spot, but you have got 2 games in hand. How crucial now, we said obviously this about every game is crucial to get points, but specifically these 2 games in hand, how key is it that you kind of get maximum points in both of them to keep the pressure on those teams above you?
No, of course, look, when I first come into the job, the ambition's to finish in and around those playoff areas, and it hasn't changed. Look, we know that we've fallen away, and we've dropped a lot of points within those results now. So we know that you are playing catch up, but it's always the team that builds momentum at this stage of the season. Teams have had their little runs now. We've just got to make sure that we can try and put a run together. And like you say, if we can pick up maximum points, you end up right back in the mix again, and it's something that we're focused on, and we'll give everything to do. But we've just got to focus on Saturday now, and we believe that we can go there, and we believe that we can have a positive performance, and hopefully we can get 3 points.
And as Sam mentioned earlier, that this month coming, you've got quite a hectic, packed schedule. But he said it makes for quite a good chance, if you've dropped points, you've only got a few days to dwell on it, then that you could correct that very quickly. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I think when you're playing games close together, this is what can build momentum. It's something that we've got to aim to do. We've got to aim to get a positive result on Saturday, and then back it up again come the Bradford game away on the Tuesday night. So that's what it does when the games are close together. Look, you do get fatigue, and the travel and that, it does take it out of you, but it can build momentum. And if we can put that win on the board away on Saturday, it'll build momentum, and then the tiredness and everything goes, because you're looking forward to the next game, and it's something that we're aiming to do.
And in terms of kind of the performances you wanted, like you said, you wanted to turn these into results. How frustrating personally can it leave you? Not with the side, maybe with yourself as well, where you maybe in hindsight you see a few switches that you could have made, or the team could have lapsed in concentration, that could have turned that good performance into wins that you really need?
That I think as a management team, we always go away. You always assess when you lose a game of football, whether you win a game of football or draw it. You always go away and assess the performance and see how we can improve. It's always about improving for the next game and trying to get perfection. We understand sometimes you can't get to that, but we have to keep aiming for it, and that's what we do as a management team. We go away and at the minute we work harder than ever to try and turn the form around.
And what's some strengths that you've seen within Accrington, and what are some of the things that you think you can expose if you hit correctly?
Look, I think you got to look at Accrington, and they've had a real positive result midweek away at Swindon. They got a win, and I think they'd lost four previous games to that, so they were on a low. They've got that win, so they're going to have that feel-good factor. But look, we've got to look at ourselves and focus solely on ourselves. If we can turn up and perform to the level that we know we can, and like you say, get that little bit of luck, making sure that we're not on the end of a disappointment where it's a mistake, or we can make sure that we work that little bit extra harder and getting the ball and taking our chances and being a bit more clinical, I think that we can come away with a real positive result, and we've just got to focus on ourselves.
And lastly, for some of the fans that possibly frustrated with where their club is at the minute, what message would you have for them in terms of looking ahead to the rest of the season and what they can kind of have faith with?
Look, I think that we need the fans to back the players on the pitch, because it gets onto the pitch. I think they've been excellent. Even the other night, they backed the lads all the way to the end. Look, it's hugely frustrating for all of us. We feel their frustration as a fan base to where, when we first walked through the door, to where we were and where we are now. But we feel that we can turn it and we can get that positive win, and then we'll look forward rather than looking back.
My final question is, in terms of this being a very project-based layout of the club, obviously there's going to be highs and lows within a project. Do you want the vision to be the long term? If maybe this season you don't manage to get playoffs, there is some positive signs ahead that the team can come together for a longer period for the following season, for example?
No, definitely. That we believe in the process, in the way that we work, and there's a long-term goal here and a long-term plan, and we believe in it, and that's why we're here as a management team. So look, we'll keep driving that and keep looking ahead as well.